Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I think Chelsea are pretty set for next season. All of their new signings just look good. Joao Pedro, obviously, just amazing. Estevao looks like a baller. Hato, so press resistant, so good on the ball. Gittens was getting the ball. He was electric. He was taking people on. The lap show good moments. All of Chelsea's new signings look good. Pedro Neto has really grown, and basically, I feel like this season will be even better. Okay, they have obviously ballers like Casado and Palmer, they're world-class players. They've won 2 trophies under Maresca now. They've gone from boys to men. And Chelsea have progressed every season. They've gone from like 12th to was it 6th to was it 4th to like where are they going to finish next? They keep going up and up and up because right now they get themselves a better goalkeeper. They get a top centre back in. I think maybe they can go all the way. I think they're set for next season. I think they're guaranteed top 4. They're going to bring Garnacho and Xavi Simons in most likely. But all their new signings just look like good. Their young players as well did really well, stepped up today. I thought Josh was really good in defence today. They've got some absolute good young players there as well. They've got good depth. You know, Santos coming in as depth for Enzo's always a good option there as well. They've got some great players. So in today's video, we're going to break down what we learned from Chelsea 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0. This was the starting lineup Chelsea went with. I think Tyreek George could do with a loan. But pretty much everyone had a good game. Just going into that. One thing I want to say as well is this was Chelsea's first preseason game, and they looked really sharp. For a first preseason game back, this is one of the sharpest I've seen Chelsea. Now, I don't know if it's because the Club World Cup ended late, so they were already quite fit. I don't know if it's because the squad's so good now and there's so much competition in the squad that every Chelsea player knows they need to come back for preseason in elite shape. But considering Leverkusen, who of course aren't as good as they were under Xabi Alonso, they've lost basically all the best players. But considering Leverkusen have had a full preseason, Chelsea look sharp, Chelsea look fitter, Chelsea look ready, and that's probably a really encouraging sign for Chelsea. But we have to start by talking about Estevao because he scored 2 goals in his last 2 games, one for Chelsea, one against Chelsea, and wow, he's a talent. So, scoring his debut, played 77 minutes. He showed confidence, he showed flair. I think him and Palmer will work really well. They were forming like little combos. They were reading each other. They're such intelligent players, such technically good players that I think Esteva will be making runs. Palmer will be passing to him, vice versa. I think him and Palmer could form a deadly duo. Now, Estevao is young. He's going to have bad games for Chelsea. He's going to have good games for Chelsea. There's going to be inconsistencies there. That's what comes with being an 18-year-old. You can't expect him to be the guy every single game, but he shows glimpses of his quality and what he can do. He started on right wing. He then moved more centrally, so he can play central. He can play on the right. He's very sharp. He wanted the ball. He was getting involved. And look, he was there in the right moment to score, put the ball in the back of the net. And I think him and Palmer, you know, it was only little bits that we saw, but there was some exchanges there, was some movement there. And I noticed when he gets the ball, and this isn't just in this game, but in general, he can dribble, he can create. He's just a different level of player. Today, his stats, I believe, according to Twitter, were 1 goal, 3 key passes. He had 7 shots, 44 touches, 3 out of 4 long balls completed, 7 touches in opposition's box, 81 pass accuracy, and 2 ball recoveries. The Esteva that I've watched, not just this game today, but in general, is an unbelievable player when it comes to picking up the ball in tight spaces, dribbling, unpredictability, playing the passes, link up, quick movement, silky feet. Chelsea have an absolute baller in Estevao. He's going to cook. You've signed a lot of young players. You know, you signed Quenda, you've signed Kendry Pius, you signed a lot of young players, and those young players are great. But when you signed Estevao, I actually made a video on it and said you've signed a different level of young player. For me, when I'd watched Palmeiras just before you'd signed him, I always thought that Estevao was better and had a higher ceiling than Endrick. Endrick got all the hype last year because he went to Real Madrid. But Estevao, for me, was the standout one. I spoke to a Palmeiras fan. He said Estevao will be better than Endrick. Continuing on, let's talk about Hato and Gittens because I think they impressed in their debuts, both coming on into the second half. Now, as we know with Jamie Gittens, he was really good at the beginning of last season. Dortmund changed managers. He struggled. He wasn't doing well. But the manager he was really good at Dortmund in the first half of the season played with wingers out wide where he could go 1v1 and be electric. And that's what Maresca will do. And that's how Maresca will use him. And I thought Gittens was showing his pace. He was dribbling. He was beating his man. He was eager to get the ball and make things happen. And I think that's a good trait to have in a winger. I think he looked good. I think it's early signs. This is a preseason game. It doesn't tell you that all, but I think the fact that he was sharp, he was ready to take on players. He suits Maresca's system. You know, you can see that up. I think he will be an upgrade on Madueke. And he's definitely an upgrade on Sancho. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Manchester United fan and I don't rate Sancho. But Maresca in his system wants wingers that will take people and make things happen. The most annoying thing about Jadon Sancho was he'd get the ball and he'd pass sideways or back. He sometimes just wouldn't run at players, whereas Gittens will and Neto will. Neto was really good in Club World Cup. I thought he was bright today. Neto's really improved. But I thought Hato is so press resistant. He's so good on the ball. With Hato, of course, he's an Ajax Academy player. You know what you're going to get in Ajax Academy players. Incredibly press resistant, incredibly technical. You know, they've got all of that. But he can play left back. He can play left centre back. I think with Colwill being injured, he could have more opportunities. I think Chelsea will sign a centre back, but he can come in at left centre back and cover, because what Colwill's so good at for Chelsea is playing out from the back and breaking the lines. And at least with Hato, you've got a player that's also very good at that. A lot of his strengths can mirror Colwill's strengths. You know, it's obviously going to be difficult to match Colwill in your first season, but we know in Hato there's a player that's unbelievably good on the ball, press resistant, could play DM, centre back, left back, got the versatility. I think, you know, there's similarities with Hato and Vega, but Hato's obviously the more technically gifted player. But yeah, this Chelsea squad is stacked. We've got to talk about it. All the new signings impressed. Joao Pedro scoring again. Ridiculous. Gittens look good. Hato look good. There's high demand in every position, because you think, okay, Xavi Simons and Palmer as 10 options. Estevão and Neto as right wing options. Gittens and Garnacho as left wing options. Not to mention the fact that Palmer can play on the right, Esteva can play on the right, Xavi Simons can play on the left, Esteva can play in the middle. Not even to mention that you've got Joao Pedro and Delapa's competition up top. If Casado gets injured, then Santos can come in. If Enzo gets injured, then Lavia can come in. Like, there's insane depth. You look at Chelsea; they could build 2 insane sides. The question is goalkeeper. The question is obviously centre back. You know, I think they wanted Hato as Cucurella cover because he played a lot last season. Which James could even go into midfield or right back if he can stay fit. But this Chelsea team is sharp. It's good, and Chelsea are not going to be boring to watch next season. You know, while I don't like Chelsea, I'd rather them win the league than Arsenal, City, or Liverpool, to be totally honest. I like them more than those 3 teams. But I have a feeling Chelsea are going to be a good watch. I feel like they're going to be attacking. I feel like they're going to play good football. I honestly, right now, and it's early days, if Arsenal don't sign a left winger, Chelsea will finish above Arsenal this season. I believe that. And that might be an unpopular opinion because Arsenal keep coming second but Chelsea's attack is better. Maresca's proven he can win trophies. I want to give a shout out to Josh, the young centre back. Now, I don't want to butcher his surname. I think it's Acheampong, but I'm just going to say Josh in case that is wrong. But he's played right back a lot for Chelsea, but today he was more of I think the central centre back in possession, and he actually completed all of his passes today. I thought on the ball he was really good, playing out well. There could be opportunities for him with Colwill out injured. I think he's an unbelievable talent, an unbelievable young player. I think he reads the game really well. I think he's got a maturity. I think he plays more like a 22-year-old than a teenager. I mean, I don't know what his age is. Actually, let me Google that. 19. He plays more like a 22, 23-year-old. He's still young, but he plays with that maturity. He's versatile. I think he's a player Maresca will like. He's very good on the ball. He's very technically gifted. Of course, it's going to be interesting to see how he does in those Premier League games. But whenever he's played for Chelsea, he's impressed me, and you've definitely got a good young player there. Just lagged there. Joao Pedro. He's just class. He is just class. I said when Chelsea signed him, this is a good player, and Chelsea signing a Champions League level player. Don't let the fact that the Nkunku, Joao Felix types haven't worked at Chelsea. Joao Pedro is a great player, but I didn't think he'd be this good and have this much impact. Coming off the bench, scoring again. He's scored in every single game he's played for Chelsea. His movement is good. You know, he's someone that can drop deep. He's someone that connects with play well, but he's got better movement and box instinct than Nicholas Jackson, which is why I think Chelsea want to move on Jackson, because yes, Jackson got a lot of red card. Yes, Jackson was acting like an idiot the last few months of the season. But Jackson was so good the first 3-4 months of last season. And I thought that Chelsea wouldn't be this eager to move him on, but they are, because Joao Pedro is clearly an upgrade, because he's got what Jackson offers outside the box, which is what Jackson's so good at. But he offers more than Jackson inside the box. He's a goal scorer. He's a finisher. He's dangerous. He's doing well at Chelsea. He's got the technical ability and he suits the balance. Joao Pedro can be a facilitator. He's someone that can score goals, get in the box, but he's someone that's very good at dropping deep, receiving play, and playing it into the wingers. If you've got runners around Joao Pedro, Neto, Gittens, Garnacho, all runners, all direct fast players, he can feed that. He also gives Palmer the license to push on ahead of him and play further forward, and he could drop deeper and rotate with Palmer. The way that Palmer and him can link up with, you've got Estevao, Neto, Garnacho potentially in there, but Gittens and Garnacho, while I know why Chelsea fans won't want to spend 50 million on him, you don't necessarily need him. Garnacho is a much better player than people are acting like he's online. Garnacho as a Man United fan, he would be quality for you guys. And you can just see the technical ability, the balance there. You know, he is a Champions League level player, Joao Pedro. I've said that for a while. He's one of my favourite players, and I was annoyed that he went to Chelsea. He's a good player. There's concerns around injury. I knew he was going to be good at Chelsea, but he's just looking like the guy. We've got to shout out Chelsea's midfield. Caicedo everywhere, as always. The refs give him no protection. He just wins back the ball like mad. He wins back the ball. He's there. He's everywhere. But also, he's good on the ball, pressing, dictating tempo. Santos slot in, did well. Good player, Santos. Estevão and Palmer, there was creativity between the lines. They bring something different. There's a balance there. I think that Chelsea's midfield is the best. You could argue it's top 3 in the world. Chelsea have a top 3 midfield in the world. Their attack is looking set. Defense, there's a few question marks there, but it's still very good. Like, this Chelsea squad, I really think they keep improving every year. Maresca's proven he can adapt, improve, win trophies. I think people are underestimating this Chelsea squad. As of now, I put them to finish above Arsenal. That might change, but as of now, I do. They beat a strong Leverkusen side. They had a full, Leverkusen had a full pre-season. And Chelsea were there and they were sharp. And for a pre-season game, for the first game back of pre-season, you don't expect that. But they were a lot sharper than I thought for a first pre-season game. And I guess they have to be ready for the new season. But there was chemistry there. The players were showing chemistry. The new signings were making an impact. I thought the Chelsea looked good. Anyway, Chelsea fans, do let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time. Bye.